Hello and welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mouse in the Mitten. And if you are watching us over on YouTube, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications so you can know when we are giving you a new episode. Now, there is a lot of changes that go on at Disney, and they happen quite frequently. We just saw another change to the lightning lane system. If you are someone who is just overwhelmed by it all and you need someone to be able to help you plan your next Disney vacation, I would love to help you get everything all squared away. All you got to do is email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com and get you all set and all taken care of. Now, today's game, we have moved some things around. Typically, round 4 is reserved for movie anniversaries, but we're going to put movie anniversaries in round 1. In round 1, we're going to celebrate the movie anniversary of Dumbo, a Disney classic that is so much fun. And yes, there are some negative undertones to it, but overall the story is a good one and one of perseverance. So let's get started here with question number 1. What number film is Dumbo for Disney? Question number 2. Timothy is the one who believes in Dumbo and supports him throughout the movie. What animal is Timothy? Question number 3. What is the official name of the ride in the parks that feature Dumbo? Question number 4. What is the name of Dumbo's mom? Question number 5. Dumbo is the first and only protagonist in a Disney film to not do what? And question number 6. At 1 hour and 4 minutes, Dumbo is the third shortest animated feature film from Disney. Name either of the 2 that are shorter. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get you some answers here on Dumbo. So question number 1. What number film is Dumbo for Disney? Well, it is its 5th featured animation. It's its 5th movie that came from Disney. Obviously, at that time, starting to really figure out its niche that Disney had, and they used Dumbo to kind of recoup some of the losses they had. Hence the reason for one of the last questions where it was a very short movie. Question number 2. Timothy is the one who believes in Dumbo and supports him throughout the movie. What animal is Timothy? Well, he is a mouse. Officially, his name is Timothy Q. Mouse. So he is the mouse there. He's the one that kind of has the New York accent, and he really believes in Dumbo and trying to get him to actually fly. Question number 3. What is the official name of the ride in the parks that features Dumbo? Well, it is Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Now, they are both in different parts of the parks but there is one in Disneyland, there is one in Disney World as well. The one in Disneyland opened, I think it was like a month after Disneyland opened, and then the one in Disney World was one of the originals as well. So they are both classic rides, and yes, there are various iterations of it throughout the parks as well. Question number 4. What is the name of Dumbo's mom? Well, that is Mrs. Jumbo. Matter of fact, originally Dumbo's name was Jumbo Jr., but because of his ears, all the other elephants made fun of him and gave him the name Dumbo, and that's where it stuck. So technically, Dumbo's name is supposed to be Jumbo Jr., but because everyone made fun of him, they went with Dumbo, and that was what they stuck with. Question number 5. Dumbo is the first and only protagonist in a Disney film to not do what? That is speak or have no spoken dialogue. Dumbo does not have a single word throughout the entire movie. Now again, Disney was trying to recoup some of the money they had lost from previous movies, mainly Fantasia. And one of the ways that they avoided this and the high cost is by not having Dumbo have any lines. So the animation was a little bit easier. Plus, they didn't have to hire someone as the main voice actor for Dumbo. So that was one of the ways in which they were able to save some money. Last but not least, question number 6. At 1 hour and 4 minutes, Dumbo is the third shortest animated feature film from Disney. Name either the two that are shorter. Well, in order to get the point there, we had to say either Winnie the Pooh or Saludos Amigos. So Winnie the Pooh was 63 minutes. That came out in 2011. Saludos Amigos, which is one of the first times we actually see Donald Duck, came out in 1942 and is only 42 minutes long. Now, anything shorter than that, obviously we wind up with Mr. Toad and Ichabod Crane, where it's actually 2 movies in 1. But yeah, Dumbo was the third shortest. Now again, we're also talking about a very specific time in which movies were not that long because it took so long to make them. So that was a factor as well. But again, also trying to recoup some of that money. But again, a classic. There's some underlying negativity behind it, but once we get past those, it's overall, like I said, the story is good and the meaning behind it is good as well. Continuing on now into round number 2. Round number 2 is our fast facts. For this round, I'm going to give you simple questions that have simple answers. Today's category is Disney soundtracks. The way that this round will work is I'm going to give you 3 songs that are on a Disney soundtrack. Just have to tell me what movie is it from. So let's get started here with question number 1. In Summer, For the First Time in Forever, and Let It Go. Question number 2. Honor Us All, True to Your Heart, and Reflections. Question number 3. One Last Hope, I Won't Say I'm in Love, and Go the Distance. Question number 4. Once Upon a Time in New York City, Why Should I Worry, and Streets of Gold. Question number 5. The Age of Not Believing, Portobello Road, and The Beautiful Briny. And question number 6. Don't Fear the Reaper, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, and Dream On. Now, some of these are classic soundtracks. Some of these are maybe a little bit confusing. Hopefully they ring true to some of you and hopefully you enjoy some of these songs. Let's get started here with question number 1. In Summer, For the First Time in Forever, and Let It Go. That is, of course, Frozen. Obviously, the key one there is Let It Go. That's the one that charted and everything else like that. But all 3 of those songs are on the Frozen soundtrack, and it is bored into my mind at this point, with my daughter loving that soundtrack right now. Question number 2. Honor Us All, True to Your Heart, and Reflections. Well, that is Mulan. Maybe Honor Us All was the key there. Maybe True to Your Heart, little 98 Degrees Stevie Wonder mix. But Reflections, hopefully that was the one that really was able to get you to Mulan. Question number 3. One Last Hope, I Won't Say I'm in Love, and Go the Distance. That is Hercules. Again, the first 2, maybe not as familiar, but Go the Distance, we're talking about one of Disney's most iconic songs that came out in the 90s. So hopefully that was an easy one for you. Question number 4. Once Upon a Time in New York City, Why Should I Worry, and Streets of Gold. Well, that is Oliver and Company. Why Should I Worry is kind of the big song. That's obviously Billy Joel, and that is the big song that came out of Oliver and Company. Question number 5. The Age of Not Believing, Portobello Road, and The Beautiful Briny. Well, that is Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Again, another classic Disney movie, a classic musical as well. Plus, you get the beautiful singing of Angela Lansbury in there. It is a classic movie and kind of a Mary Poppins after Mary Poppins. Last but not least, question number 6. Don't Fear the Reaper, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, and Dream On. Well, that is Miracle. Now, I kind of tried to trip you up there. The first 5, those were all musicals. This last one was not a musical, but those are the songs that are on the soundtrack. And you have the Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. That was the song during the Christmas party. But of course, during the end credits, you have the Dream On Aerosmith song. So again, this is one where we might visit again. So maybe start picking up some of those soundtracks and looking into them a little bit. Continuing on now into round number 3. Round number 3 is our connecting the circles. For this round, I'm going to ask you 5 questions that may or may not be Disney related, but the answers do relate somehow through Disney. And that's going to be your 6th and final question is, what is that connection? So let's get started here with question number 1. Who is the voice of Lego Batman? Question number 2. What legendary actress plays the role of a secretary in Avengers Endgame and confirms the guy has a Mungo Jerry mustache? Question number 3. What Hustle and Flow and Hidden Figures actress is also in the remake of The Color Purple in 2023? Question number 4. Who is the longtime host of Wheel of Fortune before his retirement in 2024? Question number 5. Along with Julianne Hough, who is the host of Dancing with the Stars? And question number 6 is, what is that connection? I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, see if you can make that connection, and then I will return. All right, let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. Who is the voice of Lego Batman? Well, that is Will Arnett. Now, I thought he did a great job. He is the perfect voice for Lego Batman. I don't know if he could do a regular Batman, so him being Lego Batman just fits him perfectly. Question number 2. What legendary actress plays the role of a secretary in Avengers Endgame and confirms the guy has a Mungo Jerry mustache? Well, that is Yvette Nicole Brown. She is the one that as Tony and Cap are getting to the base and they're trying to sneak around, they'll try to get some of the different things that they need. She sees them and confirms the Mungo Jerry mustache. Question number 3. What Hustle and Flow and Hidden Figures actress is also in the remake of The Color Purple? Well, that is Taraji P. Henson. She does a great job. She is a fantastic actress. I don't think she gets enough credit for the roles that she's been in, but she is a fantastic actress. Question number 4. Who was the longtime host of Wheel of Fortune before his retirement in 2024? Well, that would be Pat Sajak, and obviously he has retired. Ryan Seacrest is now the new host. It just seems like, I don't know how he does it all. I have a feeling Ryan Seacrest does not sleep. But Pat Sajak was the longtime host of Wheel of Fortune and put that game show on the map. Question number 5. Along with Julianne Hough, who is the host of Dancing with the Stars? Well, that is Alfonso Ribeiro, obviously known as Carlton from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I thought maybe that one would have been a little bit too easy. You know, everyone's doing the dance move right now as you're sitting here listening or watching this. But those two right now are the host of Dancing with the Stars. So question number 6 is, what is the connection? We had answers such as Will Arnett, Yvette Nicole Brown, Taraji P. Henson, Pat Sajak, and Alfonso Ribeiro. The connection there? Well, those are all individuals who make appearances in the Muppets Haunted Mansion. A great time of year to talk about the Haunted Mansion, and specifically the Muppets Haunted Mansion. And the connection there, they all make appearances. Now, Will Arnett, he is the ghost host. He is the Great MacGuffin. Yvette Nicole Brown, she is the limousine driver. Taraji P. Henson, she is the bride of the movie, and Pat Sajak and Alfonso Ribeiro both make appearances as people in the graveyard and as Stone, who are singing and dancing as throughout the movie as well. So it's a fun movie. It's a great classic Muppets movie, and that's why we are going to continue that into round number 4. So round number 4 is all about the Muppets Haunted Mansion, and I promise it's not just about who makes appearances and who has different roles in the Muppets Haunted Mansion. So let's get started here with question number 1. Who goes to the Haunted Mansion for a party celebrating the Great MacGuffin? Question number 2. When one of the guests goes into the VIP room, he meets what famous Disney fanatic? Question number 3. What Glee member is the one who we meet in the graveyard as the caretaker? Question number 4. What member of The Office was one of the singing busts that we see throughout the movie? Question number 5. What Disney legend comes in to clean Madame Pagoda in the seance room? And question number 6. What is the address number of the Haunted Mansion in the Muppets Haunted Mansion and is done in honor of the Muppets creator? See, I told you not all of them are going to be about who is in the movie, but I will give you a few seconds of music, see if you can come up with the answers, and then I will return. All right, let's get some answers here on the Muppets Haunted Mansion. So question number 1. Who goes to the Haunted Mansion for a party celebrating the Great MacGuffin? Well, that is Gonzo and Pepe. Now, if you just said Gonzo, give yourself the point there, but Pepe is now his right-hand man. I don't know what happened to Rizzo. I thought Rizzo was a fantastic partner to Gonzo on these adventures as we saw on the Christmas Carol, but all of a sudden, now it's Pepe. I don't know what happened, but, Gonzo's still in love with his chicken, and that's all that matters. Question number 2. When one of the guests goes into the VIP room, he meets what famous Disney fanatic? Well, that is John Stamos. Pepe is all about finding the VIP room, finding all the famous peoples, and he eventually finds his way to the VIP room where he meets John Stamos. Now, John Stamos, obviously one of the ghosts, has a very scary moment. Pepe freaks out, but it's also cool because Pepe also falls in love, so you get to see a little bit of a love scene as well. Question number 3. What Glee member is the one who we meet in the graveyard as the caretaker? Well, that is Darren Criss, and of course he's gonna sing. It's Darren Criss. Of course he's gonna sing. He has a voice like an angel, and he does a good job. And of course, we also get to see the dog there with him. And it's yes, it is a Muppet dog, but it is very similar to the dog that we see in the graveyard scene in the actual Haunted Mansion. Question number 4. What member of The Office was one of the singing busts that we see throughout the movie? Well, that would be Craig Robinson, aka Daryl. Now, we only see him for a brief moment. We do see him where it's passing, and we do see him at the end as well. But he obviously is best known for his time on The Office. He is one of the singing busts, and again, a classically trained actor, and a fantastic one at that. Question number 5. What Disney legend comes to clean Madame Pagoda in the seance room? Well, that is Kim Irvine. Now, if you don't know who Kim Irvine is, she has been associated with Disney for a really long time, and her mom is Madame Leota. So when she comes in to clean Madame Pagoda, it's kind of an homage to the fact that her mom is the one that we all see when we go into the seance room. That is her mom that is floating in the ball. So I thought that was kind of a cool little nugget. Now, me being the Disney fanatic, I will tell you, I got the joke right away. Now, hopefully you get the joke as well. Last but not least, question number 6. What is the address number of the Haunted Mansion in the Muppets Haunted Mansion and is done in honor of the Muppets creator? Well, it is 924 in honor of Jim Henson, who was born on September 24th, 1936. So the 924 is obviously September 24th. I thought that was a cool little homage. It's one of those things where it's just like what Pixar does. It's one of those things where you don't even think about it, but it's right there in front of you, and it just adds to the depth. And it's Muppets. Of course it's going to be good. Is it going to be a little cheesy? Yes, but you never sleep on the Muppets. It is fantastic. If you haven't checked it out, it is great, especially if you are familiar with the rides. They do a lot of little quips in there with the rides and some of the little nuances as well. It's a really, really fun and really, really cool movie. So if you haven't checked it out, highly recommend it. Continuing on now into round number 5. Round number 5 is just going to continue the theme, and round number 5 is all about the Haunted Mansion. We've been talking about spooky season, and obviously next week, Thursday, is officially spooky season, so we'll have some fun with that next week. But today, to continue the celebration of Halloween, we're going to talk all about the Haunted Mansion and the history behind one of my favorite attractions. So let's get started here with question number 1. Within 2, what year did the original Haunted Mansion attraction open in Disneyland? Question number 2. What movie does the Haunted Mansion feature during the holidays? Question number 3. What is the room that you enter before getting onto the ride? Question number 4. Disneyland Paris and Hong Kong Disneyland have their own version of the Haunted Mansion. What is the name of either of those attractions? Question number 5. Name either of the 2 Imagineers who Walt assigned to create the illusions in the Haunted Mansion. And question number 6. What company, known best for their figurines, released a board game in 2020 called The Haunted Mansion: Call of the Spirit? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's give you some answers here on the Haunted Mansion. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did the original Haunted Mansion attraction open in Disneyland? Well, it opened on August 12th, 1969. So in order to get the point there, what had to say between 1967 and 1971. Now, the building had been built for a long time. And Walt had always wanted to put an attraction in there that was a little bit more on the scary side. So eventually, they did put one in there. Unfortunately, it came after Walt had passed, but if they did put it in there, and it is definitely a fan favorite for every single person. Question number 2. What movie does the Haunted Mansion feature during the holidays? Well, that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Unfortunately, this is a Disneyland thing and not a Disney World thing. I wish they could bring it to Disney World. I think it'd be really cool, but definitely something that's really cool is the layover of all the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. You can see Jack Skellington throughout the ride, all that sort of stuff. It would be really cool if they brought it to World, but I get why they only have it in Disneyland. Question number 3. What is the room that you enter before getting onto the ride? Well, that is the stretching room. Now, is it just your mind playing tricks, or is the room actually stretching? Is it an elevator taking you to the lower level? Or is it that you're on a water table and the room's actually going up? Who's to know? Depending on if you're in Disneyland or Disney World, it's an elevator or the room's actually moving. It's actually the only part of the attraction where my mom and dad had a little bit of a jump scare when we went there a couple of months ago. They didn't expect it. All of a sudden the room goes dark. I felt my mom kind of jump a little bit. Luckily, she enjoyed the rest of the attraction. Just that moment was a little bit unknown, a little bit scary for her. Everything else she was fine with. The picture of them at the end is just hilarious. I wish I could share it with you. It is awesome. Question number 4. Disneyland Paris and Hong Kong Disneyland have their own version of the Haunted Mansion. What is the name of either of the attractions? Well, to be able to get the point there, we had to say either the Phantom Manor or Mystic Manor. Phantom Manor is in Paris, Mystic Manor is in Hong Kong. Now, the reason why they're a little bit different is just the way that the French see death as well as the way that the Chinese see death as well. So they changed up the story a little bit for each of those. Now, each of them, it has their own little twist. It is still very cool. It has a little bit of the scary, a little bit of the funny, but both of them have their own unique twist just to assimilate to the cultures that are out there and how they perceive the afterlife. It's something that's kind of cool. And again, something very uniquely Disney. Question number 5. Name either of the 2 Imagineers who Walt assigned to create the illusions in the Haunted Mansion. Well, in order to get the point there, would have to say either Yale Gracie or Rolly Crump. Both of them are iconic Disney Imagineers and are a big reason why Disneyland and Disney World are the way that they are. Both of them had their fingerprints all over it, but they were in charge, and Walt assigned them to create some of the illusions that we eventually would see in the Haunted Mansion. Now, we talked about how they did have a little bit of a pause in there, but they did have a lot of the fingerprints all over it. Now, it was one of those things where one of the guys wanted it to be funny, one of the guys wanted it to be funny or be scary. They kind of got the both in there. And obviously both are honored with graveyards or with gravestones in the graveyard. And unfortunately, Raleigh Crump did pass away just about 1.5 years ago. So it is cool to see his name honored in there as well. Last but not least, question number 6. What company, known best for their figurines, released a board game in 2020 called The Haunted Mansion, Call of the Spirit? Well, that is Funko. Obviously, Funko, best known for their Funko Pops. They did release a board game in honor of the Haunted Mansion. Now, I have not played it. It looks fantastic. It's from Funko, so you know it's going to be fun. So if you ever get an opportunity, I recommend checking it out. And definitely seems like it's a lot of fun. And if you do check it out, let me know. I'd love to join you on that game. But the Haunted Mansion is a fantastic attraction. Name a better time in the parks than when you're going backwards into the graveyard and you feel the cold air conditioning running over your body after being outside all day in the sweltering heat. I can't think of a better one. But it's a fantastic ride, fantastic attraction, and in my personal opinion, definitely a top 3 attraction. Must do every time we're in the parks. Well, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I will return next week with more questions and more fun. Make sure you're following us on Apple Podcasts. If Apple isn't your thing, make sure you subscribe everywhere else. If you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and in the comments down below, let us know what your score is. Also, feel free to follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mouse in the Mitten. Now, if you are planning a Disney vacation or you're thinking about one in the future and need a little bit of help planning that, I would love to help you get you all squared away and all taken care of. All you got to do is email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. We can get you all set and all taken care of. Well, hey, my name's Court. The dog's name is Milo. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you next time.